All right, and we are live. Hello, everybody. My name is Chris, and this is my channel, We Love Comics. And I wanted to do a little bit of a extra bit of information regarding this problem with the Good Morty comic. So this will be part 2 of it. So if you haven't seen the first part, I recommend watching it first because it'll give you an idea of how to spot a real Good Morty comic over, unfortunately, some fake ones out there. Now, there's something very important that a couple of people have said, and I actually mentioned this in the other video, and I want to explain a little bit more about this. There are people that have said that there are the 1 staple and the 2 staple. Some of the 2 staples they're claiming to be the genuine comic. Now, I've heard this more than once, but I have yet to see a video that shows it, because I'm sure back when that came out around 2014, I don't think anybody thought that somebody would be making copies of this comic. So my information that I got is coming from, I called CBCS and I called CGC. Now, CGC's customer service really didn't want to talk about it, so I didn't get much information from them. But when I contacted CBCS, they said at this point, until they do further research, they are not even going to grade the 2-stapled version because they're hearing so many conflicting reports about it. So there may be some genuine 2-staple comics, but the reason that I tell people to beware of it is that is the main one that ends up being fake, even though there are some single staple ones that are fake as well now. And my other video will explain to you how you can kind of tell the difference to make it easier. So there could be 2 staple ones that are real. Now, here's the problem. It's unfortunately some of the dishonest people in the world who chose to do the wrong thing that have made this a problem for people who may have had the original DVD or Blu-ray and may have opened it up to find a 2-staple comic. It's because of these dishonest people that have basically potentially ruined the value of this comic and making it very difficult for people. So I can understand, because I actually had a person that left a comment saying they bought the original Blu-ray or DVD and they opened it up and it had the 2 staples. So that could be a legitimate one, but the problem is right now the grading companies are not touching it. So even if that was legit, if you took it out of the package, then there's no way to really prove that that is a legitimate one. And unfortunately, word of mouth doesn't work with the grading companies. It doesn't matter if you say, well, I got it back in 2014 and I opened it and this is the real comic. Because I'll give you a prime example of what word of mouth can do. Because we all have to keep it real when it comes to this. A dishonest seller is not going to tell you they're being dishonest. They're not going to just say, oh, well, you seem like a nice person, so I'm going to tell you that this particular comic is a copy. They're going to lie to you. They're going to tell you they had it. They're going to tell you they got it since day one, and they swear it's genuine. And I'll give you a prime example of a situation I fell into years ago. There was, before eBay, Yahoo Auctions, which was pretty much the prototype of what eBay became. And they didn't have the buyer's protection program that eBay does. As a matter of fact, they had no buyer's protection at all. And I bought what was claimed to be a signed Babe Ruth baseball for $5,000. And back in those days, you can give out your number, give everything out. And I called the person because I sent a message. I wanted to make sure this was real. So I called the person, and they swore it's been in their family all their life, that their grandfather was actually the one that got it signed, and it is 100%. They swear on their grandparents' life that it was genuine. So I took the person for their word, spent the $5,000, and I bought the baseball. Well, when I got it, something didn't look right. And I actually drove to Atlantic City because they were doing a convention in Atlantic City, baseball card and everything, memorabilia convention. So I drove all the way to Atlantic City to find out that the baseball was in fact fake. And I lost $5,000. So I can understand there are going to be people out there that honestly got this comic from the original Blu-ray or the original DVD. And they will say that, but so will liars as well. Now, I'm not saying everybody's a liar. We got to keep that in mind. Now, a couple of people asked the question, why is this comic so important? Why is this such a big deal when it's basically just an insert from a DVD? Well, CGC recently stated that this comic is the first appearance of Rick and Morty. So if you've ever seen Rick and Morty issue #1 that has been graded by CGC, you'll notice in the section where they talk about first appearance, origin, or anything special, it's blank, because they don't recognize that comic, even though it's issue #1, as their first appearance. They labeled it as this one. So that is why people have started to make copies. Now, as far as how you can tell, I have a video that I made earlier today, so check it out. But I wanted to make it perfectly clear that there could potentially be a two-staple version that is genuine. But unfortunately, the grading companies are not touching it at this point. That can change. So if you got one back in the days and it is original, well, obviously you have a real comic. But no one has a video proving it. And I'll show you another example. There was, because I also collect gold and silver coins and everything, and there was this special 3 silver coin 1986 proof set. It was silver dollars, 3 silver dollars. There was the regular mint, there was a proof, and there was a reverse proof. Now, the problem with that one was, these were ordered only through the mail. If you actually opened the box, took it out, and went to get one of the coins graded, they wouldn't label it as a special anniversary set because it was identical to the regular issued coin that year. So the only way it would be issued as the 20th anniversary set, which is actually 2006 because it originated in 86, so I apologize. It was a 2006 set. So it was commemorating the 20th anniversary of when it came out in 1986. So they had a regular 1986 issued silver dollar and then the 20th anniversary silver dollar that were identical. So if you took it out of the box, even though it came from the box and you ordered it, they would not label it as the 20th anniversary. So this is the same situation. You may have to, if you have an unsealed DVD or Blu-ray, you may have to send that in to prove that it's genuine. So that's why even if you claim to have, and you may indeed be truthful, have an original comic, one that may have 1 staple or one that may have 2 staples, because of the fact it's an opened DVD, technically anybody can replace the original comic with a fake. So that's why right now the grading companies are not touching it, and that's why I recommend to stay away from them, because these comics are selling anywhere, I've seen anywhere from $75. I've seen people spend up to $350 for this. So be careful what you buy. And this is something I've preached on actually both of my channels. And that is doing your research. The more you learn about something, the more you protect yourself. And sometimes you have to learn the hard way by, like, for example, I show that I ended up buying 2 that ended up being fake. The good thing is when you buy on somewhere like eBay, you are protected. But if you buy from somebody on Facebook, or if you buy it at a comic shop, or you buy it from a kid down the street, they can promise you the world that it's 100% genuine. It doesn't necessarily mean it's true. And that doesn't mean they're lying. They could have bought it from somebody and they told them it was real. So just be careful out there. Study and research as much as you can about anything in life. And the more you know, the less likely somebody will take advantage or just pass on something that they thought was real. So I wanted to give that update, so hopefully you appreciate this. Because me, honestly, I don't like people that would purposely try and deceive people. And that's why if you ever heard the expression, a few bad apples spoil the tree. Well, now, thanks to some people that were so dishonest that they tried to make a copy of this book, it has now made it difficult for those who have the original comic to be able to get the true value of what that comic would be worth. And as of now, they can't even get them graded. So I can feel your pain if you have one of those comics and you're either conflicted if it's real or not, or you are one of those people that bought the original DVD and out popped a 2-stapled comic. So unfortunately, it's dishonest people that made that comic a challenge at the moment. Now, that can change. So if I learn anything new, I will be more than happy to pass that on. But I wanted to give this information out because if it could save you some money or save you some heartache, that's what I'm all about. So if you appreciate it, if you want to give it a thumbs up, that's great. If you want to share it, even better. Check out the other video. And don't forget, I have that contest where I'm giving away the 10 of the clear backing boards. And one other use I found for those that, you know, because it's kind of a novelty if you think about it, but if you actually put them on the front of your comic, like if you don't have to worry about a display comic because you don't care about the back because it has an advertisement, you can actually put that clear protection in front of the book, and it will keep the acidic part of the bag away from the front of the comic. So that's something you can actually utilize it for. So if you haven't seen that one, it's about the review I did about 2 weeks ago. It needs to get 100 likes to pick the winner. Right now, I think it's around 44 likes or something like that. So go check that out if you haven't. Make sure you thumb it up and share it, and we'll pick the winner soon. So thanks for listening. I hope you appreciated it. Just be careful out there because, unfortunately, there's dishonest people that are willing to, you know, get money in a dishonest way by selling fake stuff like this. And it's unfortunate. But hopefully they'll clear it up and it'll make it easier for people to decide. And just research for yourself. And if you bought one, examine it. And if you're within the time frame, because remember, even though eBay only gives a 30-day money-back guarantee, I think PayPal is either 3 months or 6 months. So you are protected if you went that way. If you bought any other way, you know, like I had with the Babe Ruth baseball, unfortunately, sometimes we have to have a learning lesson the hard way. So hopefully you don't get stuck with it. So thanks for listening. I hope you appreciated it. And remember, guys, it's not you, it's not I, it's we love comics. Thanks for taking the time to listen. And for those who left comments live, thank you so much for participating. Have a good day, everybody.